नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्मविद्यासम्प्रदायकर्तृभ्यो वंशऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। शङ्करम् शङ्कराचार्यम् केशवम् बादरायणम् सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। So we were in the second valli of Kathopanishad. We saw the background that the story started with Vajasrava was doing the Sarvadana Yajna called Vishadit Yajna, and he gives his son who pestered him to Yama. The boy comes to Yama's palace, waits for 3 days without food and water, knowing that when Yama comes back, he gives him 3 wishes. The first wish was that he should be the same person and his father should recognize him, and there should not be any anger against his actions by his father, which was accepted. Second one was on the yajna, where the Agni Yajna, where the Panchagni Yajna Upasana being done for the purpose of Brahmaloka Prapti. And based on that, Yama, when he instructed Nachiketas, the hero of our story in the Upanishad, he was such an intelligent student that he was virtually almost explaining back to Yama the explanations what he was giving. And pleased on the shrewdness and the intelligent capacity of the student, Yama gives him a garland, a necklace, and also tells that from today onwards, this particular yajna, which is called the Panchagni Yajna, will be known as Nachiketa Agni from then forth. Those who want to do Nachiketa 3 times, when they do that, they are bound to go to the Swargaloka. So that was the thing. And the third question which Nachiketas asked was, which virtually stumped Yamaha, and he tried all his method in which to dissuade the boy from pursuing that question. The question was none other than the boy asked, I have heard that after the death, there is something which is there, and some say there is nothing beyond. So what is the truth behind that? After death, what happens to a human being? And if there is something there, what is the reality of it? What is the truth about it? So Yama continues saying that, this is something which is very, very, very subtle and very difficult to understand. He starts offering him with all the, padavis, all the positions, like even Hiranyagarbha padavi, where he can live as long as he wants without becoming old. His senses will be perfectly in shape till he decides to leave his body. And, all the celestials and enjoyments of the Surgaloka, everything was offered to Nachiketa. And Nachiketa, with a stroke of hand, says that you keep it all for yourself. I am not interested in that. I want to know what is the truth of what happens when somebody dies. So, persisted by Nachiketas, Yama starts, testing the boy with, praising him that you are an intelligent boy and all those type of things. Then, as a reciprocal thing, Nachiketa also tells, I know that only a person who knows about death can teach all those things. So there is no other teacher better than you, who is established in the truth, can teach me. So there was a dialogue between them. And Yama understood this boy is not going to go back without getting this no. So in the last class, the last mantra which we took was, Sarva Veda Yat Padam Amananti Tapasamsi Varnani Cha Yat Padanti Yad Ichhando Brahmacharyam Charanti Tatte Padam Sangrahena Bravimi Om Ityetat. O Nachiketa, all those status, all that position which every Veda, whatever Veda is there, it is talking about that. And all those do Sarvani Tapamsi, all those do the tapas, they are also talking about it. Yet Padam Ichandi Brahmacharyam Charandi. All the people who austerity people do, Brahmacharyam is in desire of that Padam, that state, which Sangrahena Bravimi, I am telling you in concise form, and it is Om. Now, this Om is the one word answer given by Brahma in the last thing. From this next mantra onwards, for the next 10 mantras, he is virtually giving a synopsis of what Brahma is. He is not getting into the details of it. He is giving answers or indication. Now, for example, suppose if we want to go to a religious place like Vaishno Devi or Kedarnath or place, the person who has gone there, he can give the description of how the temple looks and with all indicative thing. But you don't have that feeling of having seen that experience. In these next 10 slokas, it is something very similar. Yama is giving the all indicative lakshanas, that is what you call lakshana vritti, or the signs what that state may be or may look like or what that state can be. But then he doesn't get into the details of it until he goes to the next chapter, that's Vidyavalli onwards. He will get into the details where what is Ishvara, Jiva, etc., etc. But for that time being, he is giving all indications, which itself is very difficult for ordinary intelligence to grasp it and understand it. But however much we can grasp it, we will go through that and we will try to understand that. So he said Om. Now he is referring to the Om in the next mantra. Edadeva aksharam brahma edadeva aksharam param. Edadeva aksharam jnatva yoyat ichchati tasya tat. Etat, this Om or this Brahma which I told you, this aksharam or this word which I told you, is indeed Eva Brahma. That is what is called Brahman. Brahma is, Brahma, the word is used in two ways. When you say Brahma with a long akara, a in the end, it pertains to the Trimurti, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva. But when we say Brahma with a short a, it is indicating the Brahman, which is that the Napumsakalinga Brahman, and when in the Pradama Epa Vibhakti, it is known as Brahma. So, Evat Etat, this Om, Eva Aksharam, is indeed Aksharam. Now, the Aksharam has got two meanings. One is what is called that which doesn't have Ksharam or Kshayam or decay. And same is the case with vowels or the words which we pronounce the Shabdam. Shabdam is also known as Aksharam Nityam as per the Mimamsaka and Advaitin and the Shastra. Because the sound, what we hear, has got four forms. Para, Madhyama, Vaikhari, Pashyanti Vaikhari, Para, Pashyanti Madhyama Vaikhari. These are the forms. The Para form of sound is that which is the harmonious sound of the universe. It cannot be heard with the sense organs. But when an intention from the nature happens for, making itself part of the availability of the sense organ of the sound and speech, both are connected with that, then comes the Pashyanti. That is the time when the intent to utter the sound comes. Then when the Pashyanti, when it acts in the body with the desire of with the Vakta Ichcha or the Atma Mana Samyoga, when it happens in the body, then it is known as the Madhyama, where the sound is in the form of a idea in the mind of the person who is going to speak. And when it travels through the lungs, through the throat, mouth, and up the lips, and when it is uttered as a sound, it is called Vaikari. So these are the 4 forms of the sound. So when we are talking about Om is also used for an Upasana practice in the sense that there is a speed at which you have to say Om. It can be neither fast nor slow. And between one Om and next Om, there has to be a silence. Now the silence is also a part of the Om sound, which represents the para or the harmony of the nature or the universe in the sense that. So when we are saying Om and moving into the silence, when the voice comes down and it merges with the silence, that sound is absorbed by the universe as per the Shastra. And when we start again, the same which was absorbed by the universe gives us the energy to utter the next word by the form of all the cosmic powers come together in making us to chant the word again with the intent to hear that again for them. This is how the Shastra says. So that's the form of Upasana which is used as Om Upasana. So Aksharam here means either the word or Brahma, which is the ultimate, which doesn't have a Ksharam or Nasham or decay. Etadeva Aksharam Param. Now here, the word Param is indicative of both Param and Aparam. Here also it says Aksharam Param. Now Param is the Paravidya, Aparavidya is Sharam, which has got a decay. So when we say Aksharam Param, it is that knowledge which can never go once known. That Param Vidya or Yatnyatva Sarvamidam Vitnyadam Bhavati, knowing which everything becomes known, or Yadgatva Nanivartande Tadhama Paramam Mama in the Bhagavad Gita. It's all indicating that once we know what is the reality of existence or our own reality, it can never leave us because that is what we are. So when we can never be without that. Today, due to ignorance, avidya, and misunderstanding of what we are identifying with the body and the objects or the mind and the thoughts, etc. But the knowledge of that real nature, once it is known, it becomes Aksharam Param, by which it doesn't go ever. Edadeva Aksharam Jnatva, once having known that Aksharam as Aksharam, Etad Om is Aksharam, Yo yad ichandi tasya tat. Now here the word is, ichandi is one desires. Whatever one desires, that he becomes. Tasya tat. Now this is a very esoterical statement from Brahman. Is saying, when you have become everything, or when you know that you are everything, what can be your desire? There will not be any desire. No, apta kamasya kaspriha is what one of the Upanishads says. The one who has, who has satisfied with everything, becoming everything, by becoming everything. It is not that he knows everything or he becomes everything. Then how can he have a spriha, means desire. Here also ichchati. Ichchati means desires. So here, yo yat ichchati tasya tat is indicating that here the knowledge and the desire and the known and the subject and the knowing, everything becomes one. That is what the mantra indicates. Even though it may appear in a word, it is very simple and straightforward, but it has got a very, very deep meaning. The first sentence itself, after telling Om, what Yama says is this. Etadeva Aksharam Brahma, this Aksharam itself is Brahman. Etadeva Aksharam Param, this is the ultimate Aksharam. Etadeva Aksharam Jnatva, knowing this Aksharam Jnatva, yo yad ichchati tasya tat. He becomes what he desires. So that is what the literal meaning of that. Then goes to the next mantra. Etat alambanam shreshtam, etat alambanam param, etat alambanam jnatva brahmaloke mahiyate. Now this is also another mantra which is very similar. Here the word, instead of aksharam, Yamaha used the word alambanam. Alambanam means substratum. Etat alambanam shreshtam. Shreshtam means the superior most. The superior most substratum or the support, etat alambanam param, is the ultimate substratum. And yet alambanam jnatva, knowing that substratum, what is the substratum for everything, brahmaloke mahiyate. Now the word brahmaloke mahiyate is typically translated as brahmaloka, in where that Brahma is residing and the universe, what is called Brahma, where here loka means there has got a esoterical meaning like the previous mantra. Brahma eva loka, Brahma loka. Because there is nothing outside him. So Brahma eva loka, he himself, that place where everything is there, that itself becomes the Brahma loka. So Brahmaloke mahiyate means he rules in that world of Brahmaloka or in that Brahmatjnana. Here loke means lokyate and means seeing or knowing. So Brahmaloka is by Brahmatjnana. Brahmatjnane mahiyate, the meaning you can take. Now the alambanam is the substratum which is being told. Shreshtam, superior, because there is nothing superior than that. Param, there is nothing, more which you can consider that is ultimate. Etat alambanam jnatva, by knowing. See, the word in the previous mantra and here, it is very indicative that jnanameva, karanam, for ichhati and tasya tat, when he becomes the desire seeker, it is the knowledge which makes him that what he is desiring. Here also, it is a jnatva, by knowing itself, he becomes what? The Brahmatjnana, and in that he relishes himself, or he is immersed in that knowledge itself. So these are the two mantras which is, in some commentators say, these two mantras are mainly for upasana, or those who want to do Omkara upasana. These are the two mantras which they should use for their preparation for Om, and then concentrate on Om. And that is the way in which the upasana is being prescribed, is being told by some of the commentators. But Shankaracharya has got a different take. He says Jnatva doesn't talk about upasana, it is talking about the knowledge itself. So, which makes more sense because both the mantras have got that Yajnatva. So that makes more sense to that. Then we'll go to the third mantra, which is very famous mantra. All of us have heard this in Bhagavad Gita also, which is verbatim here. Na jayate mriyate va vipaschit, nayam kutaschit nabhavuva kaschit, ajo nityas shashvatoyam purana, na hanyate hanyamane sharire. Ayam vipaschit, na jayate va mriyate, na babuva kutaschit na kaschit. Ayam ajaha nityaha shashvataha puranaha na hanyate hanyamane sharire. Now what does it mean this? Ayam vipaschit. This omniscient one, vipaschit is indicating of Brahma here again, or the Omkara, what is indicated by the Omkara, or what is called as Brahma in the previous two shlokas. Ayam Brahma, avayam vipaschit, na jayate, it is not born. Va mriyate, nor it is dying. So na jayate, va mriyate. So there is no birth or death for it. Not only that, it is no birth and death, na babuva kutaschit. It has not originated from anywhere. Kutaschit means from anywhere. As per the, some of the creation thing, it is from the Hiranyagarbha, the world came like that. There is a statement. So here, to remove all that idea, as far as the world is concerned, that is a different issue. But as far as the Om, the Brahma is concerned, it is never has originated from anywhere. Na babuva kutaschit. Na kaschit also. Not by anything. It is not that it is created by anything from, like how a potter makes a pot or things like that. It is not created by anybody or anything like that. And therefore, it is ajaha, because it doesn't have birth and death. It is ajaha, means it is the unborn. Nityaha, because it has not come from anywhere, it is not going from anywhere, it is permanently everywhere all the time. Therefore, it is nityaha. Shashwataha is permanent because it doesn't go also. So nityaha and shashwata, even though the apparent meaning may be the same, one is talking about the time space when nitya says. Shashwata means it is beyond time. Okay. Nitya can be any infinite of time, but Shashwata is beyond that. There is no time, in fact, involved at all in so. To denote or remove the doubt of anybody like that, the next word is used is Purana. Purana, the word Purana means it is the ancient. Means it is the first, or from where everything has come. So it is the oldest or the ancient most, which, if mind want to think in that form, it is in that form. It is na hanyate, it cannot be held. Even though hanyamane sharire, even though it is exhibiting through the body which can be killed, it per se, even when the body is destroyed, it is not destroyed or it is not killed. So this is what Krishna also tells Arjuna. All those young elders whom you are seeing, they are all not the physical body what you are thinking. Even if you are thinking that you are going to kill them, you are not even going to touch them because they are not the body. Nanyate hanyamane sharire. So that aspect is what one should understand, that because the reality of the self of everyone is that it is ajaha, nityaha, shashwataha, puranaha. All those things are defining that it doesn't come under the idea of what intelligence can grasp about it. It is all beyond the level of grasping. And what is graspable within the mind, intellect, has got birth, jayate, mriyate, babuva, and all those things. It is born, it is coming from somewhere, it is taking shape, it is viparinamana. There are 6 forms of, modification of that. Asti janma jayate vardate viparinamate apakshiyate nasyate. So there are 6 modifications to the body which is being mentioned in the Sankhya Karika, that what happens to the physical body. So that is also not applicable in this case. That is what he is referring to here. So then we'll go to the next show. Again, it is a continuation of the same sloka which is also there in the Bhagavad. Hando ched manyate hantum, hatha ched manyate hatam, ubau tau na vijanando, na ayam hanti na hanyate. Again about that, destruction of that, what is that entity which we call as Brahma. Hando ched manyate handum. There are people who are thinking that it can be destroyed or hantum, it can be killed. Atav chet manyate hadam. Then there are people who think, it is by which it is healing, it is being, everything, other things are getting destroyed. Ubauto na vijanati. Both of them do not know the reality of that Brahma. It is neither the cause for the destruction, nor it is getting destroyed. Na ayam handi na hanyate. Neither it is getting destroyed, nor it is a cause for destruction. So these 2 mantras have to be studied together, because then only that whole meaning can come. What it indicates is that It is that aspect of that Brahma which is, we should know that the reality is beyond conception, and with with the mind which that even the appearance, that knowledge comes, what we say, is not knowledge of Brahma comes. The Brahma is already there. The knowledge is like the removal of the cover which was not allowing us to see the reality. When that is moved, the shine of the light comes forth. That way, it is neither getting created, the light of the Atma, that people are thinking that we should know the Atma Jnana has to be created, or we should have that Atma Jnana, as we have to work towards that, and it's a product of karma. All those things are negated in these two slokas. So we should understand these two from that point of view. And then we will go to the famous mantra, which is also very equally famous. Anoraniyan mahato mahiyan atma asya jando nihito guhayam tamakratu pasyati vida shoko dadu prasadat mahimanam atmana. Anoraniyan mahato mahiyan. It is subtler than the subtlest which mind can think about it. So the mind is, let us say the mind is something which is time that is all the instrument we have to measure, which is not physical in nature. So when it is told that it is ajav nitya shashvataha puranaha, we know it is not something which is physical in nature. So we have to look into that aspect of it, which is beyond the physical aspect of physicality of things. So let us look into that as Anoraniyan Mahoto Mahiyan. Anu means subtle. Anoraniyan, the subtler than the subtlest. What the mind can think as a subtle, it is subtler than that. Same way, Mahiyan, Mahato Mahiyan. It is larger than the largest which the mind can think. Our mind can, imagine anything which is big. To the cosmos, multiple universe, idea has no limitation. But here it is something which is that the Shruti says it is bigger than what your mind can conceive. Let it be the biggest what you think in your mind, or what your mind can ideate or imagine what is the biggest one. It is bigger than that. At the same time, it is subtler than the subtlest, because it is not physically capable by indriyas or even, but the mind to grasp it as an anu. So the mind fails in understanding that. So, and where do we know about it? Nihito guhayam asya jando. A jando here doesn't mean the prani or the life here. Asya jandoho means the one who is inquiring about it. Nihido guhayam, in the cave, on the heart cave of it, the person, it is residing that. It is because of which the mind is working. Therefore, it is there in the mind itself, and the cave of the mind. It is asya jandoho means here this prani or this being which is inquiring about it. It is in the heart of that. Akradu pasyati. The one, akradu means the one which is desireless can see it. Tam mahiman atmana, the glory of the atmana. It cannot see atma. He can only see the glory of atma. Akradu pasyati, the one who is desireless can see that what? Tam mahimanam atmanaha. The glory of atma, that the effect of its presence can be seen by the desireless one. Now here it is that importance of the desire comes. Whenever we bring in desire in the mind for even knowing the Atma, for that matter, we are bringing conditions with which the desire comes in. And that desire itself is a block for us to understand or know. So when the Upanishad says, Akradu Pasyati Tam Mahimanam Atmana, even the one who has no desire, who has the Sarva Sangha Parityagi Sannyasi, even for him, Tam Mahimanam Atmana, he can only know the glory, he can see the reflected glory of that Atmanaha. And that too, Dadu Prasadat, Vita Shoko. Dadu Prasadat means here the tranquility is, Prasadam is the tranquility of, Dhatu here stands for the senses with which we can measure or know, including the mind. When the tranquility sets in our sense organs, which include the mind, and when we become Vida Shokaha, means free from sorrow, we will know the reflected glory of Atmanaha when the desires do not spring up again in the mind. And that is the time when the Anoraniyan, Mahado Mahiyan, Atmanaha, that the glory of that Atma can be reflected and seen in the mind of that one, Asya Jandoho, the one who is inquiring about the real nature of Atma. There it shines the glory of the Atma. Asino dhruvam vrajati shayano yati sarvataha kastam madamadam devam madanyo jandumarhati. Asinaha vrajati duram shayanaha yati sarvataha kaha madanyaha jnadumarhati tam madamadam devam. Now this is what the sloka is talking about. Asinaha vrajati duram. He is indicating that, with the opposites it is explaining how the glory is seen. Asinaha duram vrajati. The Atma is sitting, residing in the heart. Duram vrajati. But it goes far off. Shana shayanaha yadi sarvatra. Even though it is residing in the Asya Jandoho, yadi sarvatra, it is spread everywhere. Kaha mandanya jnadu marhati. Tam madamadam devam. That glory, who other than, here Yama says, who other than me can know that effulgent one which is joyful and at the same time joyless. It is joyful, madamadam madanya. So it is the limit of joy, but if you say it is joy, it is not joy also. So it is joyful at the same time joyless. And that effulgence of that jnadu marhati, tam devam, that Atma, aham jnadu marhati, arhasi. So the one who has kahat jnadu marhati, who else can know about him? Yama is asking about to that Nachiketa, who else can know about such a person, such a reality of Deva? Because he has said in the initial mantra that it is the subtlest of the subtle which even Devas cannot understand. So that time Nachiketa has asked the Yama, so you definitely know the truth, that is why you are saying it is the subtlest of the subtle, and even Devas do not know from your thing. That is because you know it. So that is why you are saying now, that is the time when he insisted, no, I don't want anything else other than this. So, asina vrajanti duram shayan. Asayana vrajanti duram. Even though it is seated in there, but it moves everywhere. Now, here if you look at it, a very similar mantra is there in the what you call Svetasvatara Upanishad. Apani pado javano grihita pasyatya chakshus sashrunotya karna saveti vedyam nacha tasya sasti sveta tamahu ragram purusham mahantam. This is a similar word. Apani pado javano grihita. Pani padam, without the hand and legs, he is catching and he is also traveling. The one which is without leg and hand, he is also grasping and is also traveling. Pashyatya chakshu. He pashyati without chakshu. He can see without the eyes. Sashrunotya karnaha. He doesn't have the ears, but he can hear everything. Saveti vedyam nacha tasya asti veta. Neither saveti vedyam. It can be known but at the same time, nobody knows it fully. Tamahu ragram purusham mahantam. That is the ultimate Purusha whom we are talking about is the mantra in the Shvetashvatara Upanishad. So here also in these two mantras which I read, first one, and the next mantra which is that Ashariram Sharireshu Anavasteshu Avastitam Mahanda Vibhumatmanam Matva Dhiro Na Shochati. Ashariram Sharireshu. Among the embodied one, he is the bodiless. Anavasteshu Avastitam. Among the permanent, among the impermanent, that is the most permanent. In the permanency, the impermanency is felt in the permanent one. Mahandam is that vastness. Mahandam is andam. So Maha-andam, the one which is limitless or the vastness. Vibhu is all pervading. It is limitless, can be in space, but it is also occupying the space of Vibhu, all pervading. Matva Dhiro Na Shochati. Knowing this, what is the glory of this, the Dhiraha, the Dhimantaha, the wise, Na Shochati. He crosses over the sorrows. Brahmaiva Bhavati. So Brahma, the one who knows about Brahma, he becomes indeed the Brahma. Tarati Shokam Atmavid is another word which is used in another Upanishad. The one who knows Atma, he crosses over the ocean of sorrows because he doesn't see anything which can cause him sorrow. And he is neither in the joyful state or not joyless because everything ekatvam anupashyata. He sees the oneness in everything. So that is the statement which different Upanishads are talking about it. So all that glory is being explained by Yama in these two shlokas. And then goes to the next shloka. Then Yama is continuing. Nayamatma pravachanena labhyo na medaya na bahuna shrutena. Namevaisha shrunute tena labhyastatseshe atma vivrunute tanum swam. Ayam atma, this atma, labhyaha, is available. Ayam atma na labhyaha. You can use the na labhyaha or you can say labhyaha. It's possible for you to get. But na pravachanena, not by discourses or listening to discourses or attending discourses or conducting discourses. Na medhaya, nor by the intellect. You think that logic can give that and saying, you asking, you look this way, you do analyze this way, all those intellectual logical analysis methods which we are using in the different shrutis. Here Yama is saying, it is neither by the discourses nor by the intellect Atma can be, attained. Na bahuna shrutena. Even if you read the entire scriptures in the world, it is not possible to grasp what is that. Tena, by whom, eva yesha yam vrunute, it alone chooses. That glory chooses itself. Tasya, to whom, yesha atma, vivrunute tanum swam. Swam tanum, its real nature, it divulges itself by itself. So it is, what indicating here is that all the things which we do are only preparing the ground for our understanding or grasping what is the reality, but it is not mentally graspable. Na medaya. That is why when Yama says that glory shines itself when it feels like shining, it is not when you are ready, when it feels that you are ready for it. You may think you are ready, but it may not shine in you. It has to feel that consciousness which is pervading through and through everywhere should feel that this jiva, with the one who is doing all those things is potentially the recipient. That decision is taken by the Atma, the Brahma, not by the knowledge which we have heard hundreds of Shrutis, or by the intellect, or doing the pravachana, or none of them can make you grasp that knowledge. It has to shine by itself. The Atma. So this sloka is very important. Nayam Atma pravachanena labhya namedaya na bhuna shrutena. Yamaivesha brunute tena labhyastadeshya Atma vivrunute tanum swam is a very important mantra which is used by all the teachers to make us understand that you need the grace from that power which is through and through in everyone, every word, every moment, every nook and corner it is there. Anuraniyan Mahato Mahiyan. Yet, it is not for the intellect to grasp it, nor can we know by hearting all the Shrutis. It has to have the grace of it. Only when it showers the grace, it shines within ourselves. We have to become all those things which he has said, we desireless, without any disturbance in the mind, all those things which is been mentioned in that sloka. So, which is the reason why it is important that we should. Even if we are not able to grasp it, we should not worry about it, because when it is time, it will shine by within itself. Na viratavo duscharideena na shanto na samahitaha na shanta manaso vapi prajnanevam amanam apnuyad. Na avaritaha, neither by withdrawing the mind. Avaritaha means one who goes for deep penance by withdrawing all his sense organs and everything. Nor by duscharita, nor by the person who is doing all ill doings or all the bad things in the world. Neither the man who withdraws everything, nor one who engages everything. Na shantaha, neither the one who is peaceful and quiet and is not neither disturbing everything. Na samahiraha, the one though who is meditating on it. Na ashanta manasaha, neither one whose mind is also disturbed. Va api, even then, prajnanena enam apnuyad, not even by the prajnana or the, here also again prajnana means intellect, but in a different aspect. Vishesha jnana, prakarshena jnana. Vikarshena jnanena anam na apniyat. It is not attainable even by that. So, neither by the pravachana, nor by intellect, neither becoming withdrawn from this thing, neither by indulging it, neither by having peace of mind, nor by meditating, nor by disturbed mind, nor by special efforts of knowledge. This cannot be known. Then in the final verse, Brahma, he is asking a question to Nachiketas before concluding. Asya Brahma chakram cha ubau bhavataha odanaha mrityu yasya upasechanam ka ittha veda yatrasaha. Yasya Brahma chakram. For that, Brahma and Kshatriya is indicating of Brahmana and Kshatriya. In some commentators say that in the scriptural period, these secret knowledge of Shastra in the Upanishads were either taught by Kshatriyas or Brahmanas. Both of them had different sets of knowledge and they interact in their thing. But also Brahmana is the one who is in the austerity, penance and all those things, while the Kshatriya or the royal people were engaged in that worldly engagement. They may be doing ill doings by attacking the country and harassing people and all. So all those definitions which he mentioned is connected in the two words, Brahmachatra Shastram. Chau ube bhavataha odana. They get consumed by this Brahman, because all the qualities and all the good and bad which we are seeing, where does they disappear? When the body of the Brahmana or the Kshatriya go, where does all the qualities which we called on the Nama Rupa of the Brahmana and the Kshatriya, it becomes his food. Odanaha means food. Bhavataha odana means for the Brahma, in the Brahma, they go, and that qualities which we call it as Brahmana and Kshatriya do not exist anymore. Mrityu yasya upasechanam kaha. And for that, dissolving these qualities of the bodies of Brahmana and Kshatriya, when the death plays, because that was the question which asked by Nachiketa in the beginning. We should understand the third question. Some say after death it is there, some say it is not there. Tell me the truth. Here is a statement he is indicating that where all the qualities of the human beings and the whole world dissolve, and it becomes as if it becomes a food for it, and death is the sauce in which it takes the food, or upasejanam actually means a sauce in that which is mixed along with the food to be consumed, because food is dry. So to consume dry food, upasejanam is now used. So he is using that simile here. The qualities of the Brahmana and the Kshatriya, which is encompassing the entire variety of what human beings can do, becomes the food for the Brahma, or in the sense it all dissolves in Brahma when the body is left by those two people, either the good or the enjoying one. Both of them, when they leave the body, in the process of death, that is the death has become a sauce. It is consumed in Brahma, or it becomes a food for Brahma, means it dissolves in Brahma. It is not known. You can't see that on the dead body anymore. Ka itta veda yatra yasya. Who knows? Who knows? Brahma himself, Yama himself is a king. Who knows? Itta veda yatra. Who knows? Him. Saha. Who knows him in his reality? Who can tell about his real nature? All we can talk about is his glory. Neither word can explain what is that, nor can we physically grasp it, neither by the intellect, nor by the brain, nor by tapas, nor by any of the thing. When it feels like having its glory shown to thing, it shines on the person deserving it by mere its own choice, not by our efforts. So karma cannot make you understand what is Brahma. It will shine on the mind which is clear. The mind. So all what we do is only to bring in clarity for our own entity, for to make the window open, let the sunshine come in. Something similar to that only we can say about it. We have to be open to our own these things for this truth to shine within ourselves. With that, we have come to the conclusion of the Dvitiya Valli. And the next one is the third Valli of the first chapter, where Yama continues his explanation about Ishvara and Jiva, which we will do it in the next week. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Dhanyavada. Prasad, over to you.
Thank you, Arvindji. There was a very exhaustive description. We are now we are in the core of the Upanishads, and that is why these portions that we have discussed today and the ones that are to come are of great importance in understanding the essence of the Upanishads. And I request the from onwards that the core of the Upanishads is understood. And today we have discussed most of what the nature of the Atman is. We have also discussed how the Upanishads extol Om as the Supreme Being and that which symbolizes the Supreme Being. Now we will have question and answers. So I request our listeners and members in the room, whoever wants to come up and ask Aurobinji any questions, please feel free.
Namaste.
Pranam Patrick ji, Pranam lovely ones, Pranam Arvind ji. Arvind ji, very beautiful, and I keep enjoying the satsang and with so much beauty, with so much grace. It is very beautiful. So, just for the sake of all of us together, Arvind ji, as the Upanishad mentions that it is known by its own grace only, and it cannot be even known by the knowledge, and any knowledge can be acquired. So, Arvind ji, I request you to kindly guide us. What is the first step one should take to become worthy of the grace of the great self itself? What is the first step one should take? Because the Kali Yuga has happened, the jobs are happening, we are so busy these days. What is the first step? Because the self decides when to grace upon us. But the whole teaching, the whole Shruti also is about that knowledge is required to arrive and we become worthy of that grace itself. What is the first step? I request Arvind ji to guide us on to what is the first step someone who is so busy with the world should take from tomorrow morning to become worthy of that grace, so that someday whenever the self decides to shine upon them. Thank you so much.
Namaste, Swamiji, and thank you all. In the subsequent portion of the Upanishad, Yama himself explains the methods, but basically what we all should understand that we are all what you call servants or addicted to sense organs and its own control on our thinkings. So we should be aware of sense organs will do their job because prakriteer anyato bhavo katanchit bhavishyati. Whatever may be what is in the creation has a purpose for which it has been created. We cannot change that. The fire will be fire, water will be water. Eyes can only see light, ears can hear only sound. The organs or the body or everything will be the same. The only thing which is in our control is, instead of forgetting the nature of these sense organs and our mind, if we identify ourselves with the flow of the sense organs or the mind, we are moving away from the reality. So the first and foremost thing which anybody can start doing is to be attentive, to be aware of the games played by the mind and the sense organs in taking us away from the reality. So be attentive. In this Upanishad itself it says, Uttishtada Jagrada. That is what to say. Even Vivekananda quotes it all the time. Uttishtada Jagrada. Uttishtada means attention. Jagrada means be attentive to everything. Then Prapyavara Nibodhada. Having then reached a Varan means an apt person. Nibodhada. You tell that. What purpose have you come for? He can guide you. So that is what one of the statement which Yama makes to Nachiketa in this one. And then also about that mantra is Avrta Chakshu Amrutatvam Ichan Pratyekatmanam Ichan. The sense organs and it's how the control of that only can take you to the realization of what is the Pratyekatman. So this is how we can start, because we can only start with what we have. We have been given sense organs and the mind. That is the only instrument we have. The body is a reaction to what the sense organs give. Only if we see light, we can walk. If in the darkness, we can't walk. Same way, if we hear a sound, we know what sound is that, and then we decide what to do that. If he's calling us or calling, if he's talking us or abusing us, all those things are from sound. Same way, touch, taste, and smell, all of them will give us information. But when we put a value to that, and then we decide the reaction should be based on the value which we created, we are not reacting to the world, we are reacting to what the senses want us to react. So, see a flower as a flower, not as a beautiful flower to be plucked from the tree. Enjoy the beauty of the flower on the tree. Let the butterflies enjoy as much as you have enjoyment. The butterfly also has the right to enjoy it. Don't pluck it and destroy an opportunity for a butterfly or a bee to enjoy from the flower. Same way, everything and anything in the world. Let nature grow its own way. Learn from the nature. Be the natural in our living. That's the best.
Thank you so much, Arvindji. Pranam to you once again. Thank you for gracing us.
What a beautiful question and what a great answer. Namaste, Srinivas.
Hey, namaste, Patrick. Hi, namaste, Arbindaji. Namaste, everyone. I like the session very much. Very core shlokas. So, my question is on that na hanyate hanyamane sarire. So basically, then how do we understand? Maybe in the next slokas he's telling it, but in general, it's again about how do we understand when our body is dying, or what is that shloka actually telling about a human dying, or how do we look at dying? So should we look at it as we get reborn in some other upadhi, or what dies and what does not die? That can, if you can expand a bit more, I think it will be nice.
Okay, I'm not going into the Upanishad's way of explaining it because it needs references and that quotation from the Upanishad. But till now what I have covered, using that I'll explain to you. Na jayate mriyate va katachit. Katachit means never. It was born, neither it is taking blood, nor it is dying. So what is that is jayate, what is taking birth, and what is mriyate, what is dying. Definitely it is not that. Now if you identify with the one which is dying or taking birth, then you have birth and decay. It is just like that. If you are identifying with the train, or let us say, if you are identifying with an object which is normally which happens with people who are very much attached, when their dear one dies, they go into such a depression, or sometimes some people have committed suicide also. It is to that extent that they feel that inseparable from the other one. But actually, that person was born different time, different place, different location, for different conditions. You were born at different place, different location, different condition. That person had a different mindset and organs and everything. He had enjoyed the life. You have a different set. But when your attachment takes place to that extent, people cannot take the separation. They feel that they have no purpose in their living. I've seen this happening in the people. Sometimes when children die, the parents become like that, or then sometimes the spouse dies, the other spouse becomes depressed and become that. It can be with any situations. There is no examples left. You may be knowing, all of you may be knowing. Forget about that human attachment, everything. Even if you look at it, assume a pot is being broken. The mud which was there earlier, when it takes a shape of a pot, we say the pot is born The potter made the pot, so the pot is made and the pot comes into space, into the existence. We have a utility value of it for water, liquid carrying or filling grains or cooking or whatever may be the purpose. But after it breaks, when it breaks, our all the utility cannot be carried on further. It becomes so, and we don't have any value for that, so it is thrown out, which becomes mud again. Now, when the mud is again, after maybe centuries or some time, another person makes a pot out of that, mixed with new pots, new mud mixed into it. Another pot will come up in life, in setting. But the pot, looking from the mud point of view, the mud has never become the pot. Even if it is mixed, that broken pot comes back into it, and it is mixed with some more new mud and becomes another pot, still mud does not become pot. It is only a name and shape which comes. So when you call it as a rebirth, the previous pot has broken, part of the mud is used, and a new pot is being made. The new pot may have some qualities of the old mud, which will be mixed with new qualities of some mud. So the new body may have some new qualities. It may not 99% of the time you don't even remember what is the previous body was like that. Because that is not how the transformation takes place. So materialistically, if you look at it, there is neither the death of the matter nor creation of the matter. All what goes on is only transformation from mud to a name and form of a pot, and from name and form of a pot back to mud, and it keeps on happening. So the birth and death keeps on happening. Now, if you look at space in which the mud is existing, the pot is coming in, it is asangaha. It is neither affected by the mud nor by the pot, nor the pot has got oil in it or water in it or it has got urine in it. It doesn't matter for the space. It is immaterial. It doesn't react to it. It is neither affected by it, neither happy of it, nor sorrow about it. In it, everything happens. It's only a witness to things happening in itself. Neither associating with it, not associating with it. So, all those examples are used in the Shruti for explaining this. This is how the life comes in birth. And if you want to know, furthermore, Shastra also says, every deep sleep is death of a waking person. When he wakes up again, he recollects from his past, but he is a new person who has woken up. The surroundings has remained the same appearance-wise, but it has moved in space so much of distance which he is not able to know. His ignorance is telling him he is in the same place. It is just like we are sleeping in a train. Train is moving in the night. We slept. When we wake up in the next day morning, we are in the same train, in the same berth. But train has moved from Delhi all the way to Bhopal or even to Hyderabad. That movement has taken place. We are waking up in a new location, new place and everything, but we have the feeling that, in the same berth, I slept in the same berth and I am waking up in the same berth. But physically, if you look at it, it's not the same place. The space has changed, time has changed, everything has changed. But familiarity, we feel that it's the same person coming up because we carry the memory from our previous waking, associate with what scenes we are seeing. Time is an association. So from that point, again in the night we go, we pack up everything. We don't carry with it anything. All things which we had the name, form and relationship, including the identification with the body, the mind and the intellect is packed off. And we are as if we are dead. But we don't feel that we are dead because when we come back, we get back to the same thing. It is just like when you're going for a shower, you remove all your dress and come after your shower, when you come back, you wear same the dress, no? That feeling is there when we are waking up. That is why we don't feel that we are dying. But what is death is same as what is in deep sleep. So when you are dying, what is going to happen is that this mind, this physical body, everything which is made out of this mud from this life we leave it here in this place where we are, whether it is burned or buried or eaten by animals, doesn't matter. Nothing happens to that. The mind which had an identity also dies along with that body. That is why the I doesn't go to the next life. Or there is next life is what? The same thing which has become ash after burning or cremation or buried, everything goes through the metamorphosis of becoming vegetation cycle and eaten by animals or parents, and progeny takes place from that, and another life comes, another body comes up. But the Atma which was there, which was witnessing all this thing, it has not taken birth, not died. It is a reflection on the mind which makes us feel that the mind is the I, and the reflection of the I in the mind is the identity which we say, I am Srinivas, I am Aravind, I am Prasad, etc., etc. That identity is with the mind. It also will go along with the death. But the awareness which doesn't have any object to be aware of, which is in your deep sleep, can never die, can never be born.
Thank you, Arvindaji. Very nice.
Namaste, Ankur.
Namaskar, Aurobindo ji and Patrick. Just couple of questions. One, Nachiketa follows his father's utterances, even though they were insincere. Is that the right way, or is that how people should behave? Should insincere orders or utterances be followed, or this might be more of an opportunity or some realization which would essentially make Nachiketa do what he did? That's one. Second is, what is the value of not remembering what happened after Nachiketa comes back to returns from Yama, right? Is it desirable, or you think the way things are, that mind dies with body, that's how it should?
To the first question, Nachiketa was a very intelligent student, and he has studied everything from the Veda, what is right and what is wrong. So when his father had set aside the best cows for in the son's name and was gifting all that old and useless cows in the yaga as dakshina, Nachiketa knows very well that the father is not doing the right thing, which he should do the right thing and he should go to Swarga. That was the intention of the father while doing the yajna. The son also knows that father after the yajna should go to Swargaloka as per the scripture, only if he does the right thing. But when he is giving things which are not wanted by him as the yajna, the duty of the son is to correct father if he is making a mistake. That is why the only way he could do that was because he had kept the best cows in the name of Nachiketa. So only if Nachiketa goes and asks his father, whom will you give me? Because I am also a property for you, like every cattle and other property, children are also property of the father. So he had the right to ask, to whom will you give me also? So father first 2 times didn't answer for that, but when irritated, third time he says, I'll give you to death. That was all that was Nachiketa wanted to, in the sense that he should give me also to somebody, so that along with me that good cows also will be given. So Sarvasva Dhanam will happen to my father. That way he is saving his father. And that also gives Nachiketa the opportunity to meet Yama. So when he says that I should be treated the same way I was when I go back to my father, he had asked a very wise question, or a wise boon from Yama. 2 things: that he is going back to his father. Second thing is that he is going back with the body and the mind and the intellect and everything what he has learned with himself, as the father had seen him and known him before. And in the philosophical implication of that answer is that the one who knows death and lives in the world, there is no difference in him before and after in physical appearances. What changes is the knowledge. That is the philosophical implication of it.
Ankur, is that good?
Thank you. I mean, I would will will that choice also not to some extent indicate that for Nachiketa already uh, given it was essentially he found that uh, the life that he was living, the way it was, he did not see a purpose in it. Rather, he thought the better purpose of his life is better served if he if he had an opportunity to understand the truth of it, the purpose of it, and without it, he would rather follow that insincere utterance rather than continue um, living as it were.
I didn't quite understand your question, but from what I could understand, Nachiketa interest was to know the full truth all the time, because he has understood from the scriptures what he was taught by the father and the other teachers in the ashrama, that what is Atma, what is Brahma, and what is. But that is why when he meets Yama, also the third boon which he is asking is that some say that after death nothing is there. Some say that after death it is there. What is there he doesn't know. Tell me what is, if it is there, what is that? That is the question which he asked. So Nachiketa's intention of asking that question was, having ensured the first two, the first one was the most important one, second one was more for Upasana and the Karma Kandas. But his main question, which is the main theme of the Upanishad, is to know the truth, what is death and beyond death. So from that point of view, which he could not get from his parents and the teachers in the ashrama, he made use of the opportunity when he got an opportunity to in face with the death, the Lord of Death. That is what the purpose was. He was a very, very firm student to know what he wants. He was focused. He had the knowledge, but he was not getting it from the earthly living. And when he got an opportunity to know that, he didn't lose the opportunity because he was still focused.
Thank you, Roshan Ji.
Namaskar, Arvind.
No,
I have a
Shiva,
question.
just one moment, please. Roshan.
Hey, hi guys. Namaste everyone. Yeah, I'm interested to listening actually. It's a beautiful comment is going on. So as I understood the Kathopanishad, so there is a three things which we have to know first. The one is the main ruling is the Nasiketa, who is the disciple. The another one is the father figure, the father of Nasiketa. And the another one is the Yam. Yam means Uranus. So Uranus represents over here as a guru, the master. So when the Katha is the name of the Rishi who wrote the Kathopanishad. So what the Katha Maharshi is trying to explain by giving these types of platform where a father is donating his son to the death. So what it's going over here, the death, the Yama is explaining to the Nasiketa the reality of death the reality of existence, the reality of life. And Nasiketa is really a good disciple who is trying to seek beyond the death. So he started asking the different kinds of the question to the Yama, and Yama is replying all those questions.
Roshan, sorry for interrupting. May I ask you, do you have a question for Aurobindaji?
I think I don't have the questions right now.
Okay, so just because we've got so many, if you don't mind, I'm just going to mute you and we're going to move on next. We've got so many people and it's a lot of time for Aurobind, so out of respect, thank you so much. Yeah, so Mahidar.
Pranam, sir.
Pranam, namaste.
Namaste, sir. Sir, Ravinder, sir, namaste, sir. Thank you. Thank you for your session, sir. You are giving a lot of information for us. It is very useful for us, sir. Sir, here in our tradition, we think generally at the time of death, if a person is remembering the name of the God, or he will get moksha, like that something is there. And here we are understanding everything is said by Yama. Is there any connection we can interrelate with that, sir?
Yes, Mahidar. See, you should understand Upanishads are Jnana Marga, or the path of knowledge. And what you said is not wrong, because in the Puranas and even in Bhagavad Gita for that matter, which is talking about the Bhakti Marga, at the time of the Bhakti Marga, Prayana Kale Pimam. So when Krishna says that the one who thinks about me at the time of death, he will reach me. Now, in the literal sense, if you look at it, Krishna making a statement, the one who thinks about me at the time of death will reach me. In the prima facie or in the face value, it will look like that. If somebody can think about Krishna at the time of death, he will reach Krishna. Now, to establish the same story, the story of Ajamila is there in the Bhagavatam also, which is a very similar one, where based on this, a story has been written in Bhagavatam. Now, but if you look at it, the meaning of the verse and that story or that verse is that Prayana Kale Mam Sparan Tyaktam Kalebharam is what it is being told. Kalebharam means the body, Tyaktva, having abandoned the body, Mam Anusmaran, one who thinks about me, Mam. That is what the whole crux of that verse is, that first of all, when we are dying, we are not throwing the body. We have still got attachment with the body. The Tyaktva Kalebharam doesn't happen to get the moksha, first and foremost. Because we are still attached with the body, sense organs and everything. We don't want even to leave the body. We are even at that time, last moment also, we are thinking about something about related to the body, and I am the body. So Tyaktva Kalebharam, when Krishna says that one who has detachment to the body and thinks about Mam, there Mam is standing for the Atma Bhava of Krishna. Krishna as an Atma in the body, one who detaches with all the attachments which he had with the body, when he detaches with that attachments of the body and abides in the Atma or in the Krishna or the Atma, both are the same there, such a person, moksha. To him, such a person, moksha will happen, natural. That is exactly what the Upanishads is also saying. These are not two different things. So when we are reading a shloka, you should read it and understand it, its full in-depth meaning. If we do not get it from somewhere in the books or translation, because most of the translation will not go into the philosophical aspect, because they want only literal beauty and translation. So if you want to do that, tat pranivada, tat gurumeva vigacche, srotriyam brahmanishtam. So that Upanishad says how you can do that. Tadviddi pranivadena, viprashnena sevaya. By question and answers and asking the one who is knowledge about it, to such a person when you ask, he will explain all the details of it. For which we'll have to start from understanding how to read text, how the explanations are being done. Because it is coming in the middle of Bhagavad Gita almost. So we should start from the beginning. Second chapter is the most important chapter in the entire Bhagavad Gita. So one who can understand Bhagavad Gita in the second chapter, for him the rest of the chapters are much easier, because he can relate to the philosophy in the second chapter when he reads the rest of the chapters. So this second chapter, if you have studied, you would have got the answer for this one also. It would not have gone by the literal meaning that one at the time of death somebody can think about Krishna. I don't know whether it is possible or not. I am definitely sure if you have got attachment with the body, either you will be thinking about body related or about your property, about your child or anybody, not about Krishna, Bhagavan himself. That thought will not come for that easy.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. I understood, sir. Very wonderfully you said, sir. I understood.
Thank you. Namaste, Hari. Namaste, Hari. Hari Prakash.
How about now?
No, it's better.
Yeah, I mean, thanks for a wonderful articulation and talk. And I don't have any questions, but I'm sure, including me, we are benefiting a lot, and we are benefited. We are going to benefit a lot from this Kathopanishad Upanyasam. Thanks for all the support.
Thank you, Hari. Vishwa's on a call right now, so Namaste, Shiva.
Namaste, Patrick. Namaste, Ravindraji.
Namaste, Shiva.
I have a doubt. It's a doubt or a question because of through your speech that suddenly I got a doubt. Why is that examples that we use it in terms of understanding philosophy or even understanding the oneness of the Supreme? Because when the mud becomes the pot, there is no life, there is no movement, or there is no pain, or there is no suffering, there is no happiness, there is no feeling, there is no sense organs that are involved. But why is that only living? If you can take it as a living creature, human being, or any animals, there is a sense of pain or suffering to the body or through the senses that goes out. So comparison of the examples, is that a better way of understanding philosophy?
See, basically, examples make understanding easier. Otherwise, by just reading Upanishad, the truth should have been known to everyone. Even Shankara would not have written about snake and rope or, Stanu Purusha, etc., etc., etc. All where the examples are to give an aspect of an example. When I said mud and the rebirth part of it, I wanted to bring in two aspects into the example. The physical body, where you say pain is there, the life is there, and etc. In the body, there is no life. Only when that Atma, when reflecting in the mind, there is pain and pleasure which is exhibited. When that too in waking or dreaming only. Not in the deep sleep. Even when the Atma is reflecting in the body, even a mosquito sits on a sleeping who is deep sleeping, he is not even aware of the mosquito bite. He doesn't have a pain also. He is not aware of the sound of, even though his eyes are open to the world, even the sound will be coming. Even on a rocking, highly noisy train, everybody can get deep sleep. That shows that even sound will not disturb us in our sleep. So such conditions show that the body, physical body, even only shows the pain and pleasure in the state of waking and dream only. Dream as a dream experience, wake with waking experience. But the entity which is in the body is like the space for the pot, and the pot is made of the matter from the earth, just as the body of the which shows the pain and pleasure in the presence of space or Atma is similar to the matter which is with which the body is made by the calcium, carbon, phosphorus, all the organ, hydrogen, nitrogen, whatever names you want to use it, you can use it. There is no difference between what is available in that and what is available in the body. The chemical composition can be in different matter. It may have calcium, it may have silica, it may have phosphorus, it may have carbon, it may have oxygen, it may have nitrogen. All the hydrocarbons are even in the inorganic and organic, all chemicals will be there in the form of metal and non-metals in the body. But which shows that it is a matter from the earth. The body grows what you feed with from the earth. So it goes back to the earth when the body dies, it disintegrates into the parts which it was made. The space which was there in the pot has never gone anywhere or anything. Same way, the Atma, that consciousness which was reflecting through the mind is still there, but the mind cannot have any more reflection, just as the water from the pond has evaporated and the water cannot be used for reflection anymore. There, even though sunlight is falling on the pond, there is no water there to reflect. So there is no reflection on the water. The sun doesn't mean the sun has stopped shining. Same way, the mind, even though it is not able to shine, Atma is still there. Atma cannot go anywhere. Atma is sarvavyapi. So it is from these two, I wanted to bring a relationship between the example, between the pot and the body. Both have got identical properties when it comes to explanation part of it. That doesn't mean space is Atma. No. That difference we will have to still make. And the mud pot which is made out of putting in a clay shaping and putting in a furnace is not the body which you have, because it's created out of, the mother and the womb and the generation embryo, etc., etc. There is a different process. For a larva or a fly, it is a different process. It can be egg, andajam, bijam, shvetajam. There are different categories of creation. So one of the creation is human body, which is by birth, jarajam. So that is where the difference we'll have to make. So examples help us to understand similarity, but in all similarity, there is only a certain aspect we have to take. We cannot example and that, exemplified is never the same. The famous saying in the Shruti is that Rama Ravanor Yuddham, Rama Ravano Yuddham Viva. So what is Rama Ravana Yuddha? It is like Rama Ravana Yuddha. There cannot be a second Yuddha which is equal to Rama and Ravana Yuddha. Same way, Shiva, who is talking there, only one Shiva is there. I cannot say this Shiva is like that Shiva. No, there is only one. So examples to bring certain aspects of Shiva, I can say that this boy is also like Shiva, what has done, etc., etc., etc. I can say some qualification, but it can't be the same, because there is only one. In any case, there is only one. The example which we are used has some properties which we can compare. That's all.
Namaste, Vagisha. Thank you. Thank you, Shiva.
Yes. First of all, it's very beautifully explained. So, Arvind, I came at the last moment, but it's mind-blowing explanation by Arvindji. So, thanks for that. I have one question. What is the difference between Jnani and Ajnani? So, before that, like Jnani and Ajnani, Jnani is the one who realized, and Ajnani is who not realized actually. So, the body of both of them will be same. Body remains same. And Atman, whether one realize or doesn't realize, will remain Paramatma itself. So there is no difference in that. So the only difference between the one who realized and one who not realized should just exist in mind. So is the mind is the only difference between both of them, or there is something else?
There is absolutely no difference between Jnani and Ajnani.
But the way of thinking is the only difference. Is that correct?
It is the people outside who has given the terminology Jnani and Ajnani. The Jnani, he looks inside for his own reality. The Ajnani looks outside through his sense organs to the world outside. The Jnani who, having seen the inside of his, is not different from the world outside. He doesn't have to look inward or outward. He sees everything the same everywhere. The one who knows that outside and inside are of the same consciousness substratum or the same thing with which it has been made, such a person is called a Jnani. Ajnani still not have started looking inside, so he sees multiplicity in the world outside. Light as sound, upright as every object is sound in Nama Rupa, the multiplicity he sees. So he deals with that multiplicity as a reality. The Jnani deals with the multiplicity, knowing very well that everything is made out of, after all, it's all existent consciousness, and that the name and form is only for utility purpose. So for utility purposes, he used the name and form. But even when using utility purpose, he has the undercurrent knowledge, the reality of everything. That is.
Thank you for that great question. Yogi Singh, Namaste. Pranam.
Vishwa had a question. He was on the phone in between.
Who was? Yeah, go ahead.
Namaste, Jai Shri Ram. Arvindajit, thank you so much. This was so beautiful. Just kind of continuing the question Vagisha asked about the Jnani and the Ajnani. So if from a Jnani's perspective, even the Ajnani is also Atman, right? So then is the journey from ignorance to enlightenment, is that journey just happening within the mind? Because in reality nothing is changing.
There is no journey, Vishwa. First and foremost. The Jnani, once having known the reality, for him even the Jnani is the Atman only. The Ajnani, wanting to know the truth, goes to the Jnani and asks, what is the difference which you see? Because Ajnani sees the Jnani not making a difference between Raga, Dvesha, Sukha, Dukkha and all those things. For him, everything is the same. He doesn't react to the way reaction happens to the world by normal people. His mind is at composure. For him, nothing entertains him, nothing is boring for him. He has neither entertainment interest nor boring interest in the world outside. He just perceives them with equal interest, which cannot be understood by a Ajnani. So he goes to the Jnani, asks, what is that makes you different, that you don't see difference in the world outside which I am seeing? Then that Jnani starts explaining to the Ajnani, or the one who asked the question. He doesn't say that. Everybody, Sarvam Khalidam Brahma is the knowledge. So even Ajnani is a Brahma only. But without having the capacity to see that, if somebody goes and asks, the Jnani doesn't treat him as an Ajnani. Jnani treats him as another person who has the knowledge but doesn't know the knowledge. That doesn't make that person anything different from what he is. His reality is that. It is just like one person has opened his eyes, the other person has still closed the eyes and he is saying, I can't see it. So the person who has opened the eyes knows that this person is not able to see because he is still not opened the eyes. He helps him to open the eyes, that's all.
Beautiful. It's a little bit of a hard concept to, at least for the mind to grasp.
This is what the Upanishad said, no? It can't be grasped with the mind because it is anoraniyan mahato mahiyan. It is subtler than what mind can grasp it, and it is vaster than what the mind can even imagine. So how can it mind mentally you can grasp it? So only tasya prasadad, the grace of that atma, the knowledge shines in each one of us.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, Aurobindoji.
It is beautiful. It's so profound. It's so beautiful. Sunny started it out with that question, the grace. It's that grace that is that thing that we, in order to know that thing, that thing's grace must be present to know that. That's like the paradox. But Vishwa, it's a great question though. Loved it. Yeah. So we could spend a day on just that alone, but we've got so many questions. Yog Singh, well.
Namaste, Patrick ji. Arvindo ji, last 10 minutes, the way you described the beauty of a jnani, that even a jnani is the ultimate reality also. I had a goosebumps. I can't describe. And then the last sentence when you say mind cannot grasp it, someone was asking it on the mind things. It was so beautiful. I have, my bowing down to your lotus feet. It's such a beauty. And Patrick ji, I could feel that energy in you also. Wonderful, Arvind.
Okay. So we've had a lot of questions.
Kiran is there? Kiran?
Yeah, Kiran's going to close up with Final Chance. And just so everyone knows, we'll reopen the room after we close this, but for open general discussion. You can follow up on Katho if you want to. But we're going to end the room. Okay, so you've got the time, Arvind?
Yeah, I have the time. I'll stay back.